got on board. Dom Joly, how you doing?
I'm fine. First time in economy.
Go on, I'll give you an upgrade. Go on.
Premium.
Yeah, and we're sweaty, aren't we? Let's look like we're sweaty.
It is really, really hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the aircon went when we were hijacked.
I had a bowl of soup before I recorded one of these a few weeks ago, and it looked like I had that sweating disease. I was like, I hadn't even done a workout. I'd had tomato soup. What the fuck? It's too hot.
It is too hot. It's really weird. It's muggy. But that's just the plane, isn't it? When we get off, it'll be fine. It'll be
Oh,
that.
yeah. You are in economy, no aircon.
Summer holiday in Newfoundland. There's no way better.
So this is a holiday podcast. Boy, you are the best person to have on here. Tell us how many countries you've been to.
Well, I'm a serious travel writer. We don't count. 108. It's true. Honestly, you ask any travel writer who, that's their job, and they're all like, oh, please, that's so naff to ask that. But they all know to the exact detail.
Yeah,
they even break down, states in America. They think that should count as extra countries when they're trying to up it a little bit.
Yeah. Because you're one of those dark tourists.
I'm a bit of an everything tourist.
You like a sinister holiday.
I do. I don't like holidays, actually. That's my problem. So I like travel with a purpose.
Okay, right.
So that's the end of the...
I was expecting some fun banter.
Well, no, I'm just not really a beach... I need to do something when I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
So I like travelling somewhere where there's something has happened. That's what my dark tourism started from. So I go on holidays to places you maybe might not consider. I don't know, like North Korea. Have you done that?
No, but you went to Chernobyl.
Yeah, weekend in Chernobyl. Only a weekend. That was enough. Skiing in Iran. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Monster hunting in the Congo. It's quite good.
What, the killing fields in Cambodia?
Yeah, I mean, Cambodia is amazing. And actually, when I went to Cambodia, it was 2008. It was still... It was known, but it wasn't massive. Now, Cambodia's like Thailand. It's kind of everyone goes to Siem Reap. And actually, Cambodia's got great coast now. Sihanouk Fields, stuff like that. So Cambodia's pretty cool. It's relaxed. But yes, if you want to go and look at buried baby teeth, then the killing fields are for you as well.
Yeah.
This is like most people go to Cambodia and enjoy Angkor Wat or the beach. My highlight is I managed to blag my way into a war crimes trial. And I know that's not for everyone, but I really enjoyed it.
You love it.
Well, love it is probably the wrong word, but...
It was a tough wank.
Yeah, I had to push through.
Is it true you also went to a landmine museum?
Yes, well, I've been to all sorts of museums, but a landmine museum is particularly good. And what's good about the landmine...
It's insane, isn't it?
But what's good about the landmine museum, or what's sort of vaguely funny, is the guy who runs it as a bit of a guilt trip, because under Pol Pot, he was responsible. He was the main landmine layer. And he estimates over 2 million landmines around Cambodia. And then when the regime went, he was then employed to take them all up again. So the guy, he's like painting the fourth bridge. It never stops.
Yeah.
But just occasionally you're in the museum and a guy hobbles past on crutches with no legs. And the guy just sort of looks away a little bit awkwardly.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. I mean, it's obviously not funny, but it's a great museum.
Yeah. Out of all these places you've been, some of them are quite grim. Well, our perceptions of them are grim because actually...
I think that's the difference.
Yeah. Because your descriptions of Iran, it sounded... Once you got away out of Tehran, wasn't it? And you went skiing and how this is segregated, then they weren't segregated, then you're having a little, some alcohol and stuff. And they seem like it's not really lovely people.
Okay, so Iran's slightly changed now. Right now, I wouldn't suggest you went to Iran, just because it changes occasionally. But when I went 2010, Iran's really interesting. Very, very lightly, the Middle East is basically normally has quite a radical population, and the countries are run by Western-backed governments. Iran's the opposite. It's got a very radical, mental, I'm going to say the word, government, but most of the population just want to go and live in Los Angeles and are incredibly, fantastically friendly, incredibly, sophisticated sounds patronizing, but, Iran's such an ancient civilization, incredible place to go. They're very, very, well-read. The food's incredible. And they're just so thankful when someone comes to Iran and isn't like a foreign correspondent looking for a bad story. Yeah. So when I turned up and said I was going skiing, they were like, oh, brilliant. They took me skiing. They loved it.
Yeah.
It was a problem when I went to Israel for a trip. Yeah. I arrived and they saw my Iranian visa and the guy said, what was your reason for visiting Iran? I couldn't resist. I said skiing and that was it. But no, it's good.
Now, listen, I know we're going to talk about trigger-happy TV, but I am obsessed with the Dark Tourist. Can I just ask you some more questions?
I love the Dark Tourist.
Because obviously you go places where, but also not just like random places, like around, like you went to JFK where he was shot, down in Texas.
That was my assassination vacation.
Yeah.
I went on a road trip around America to all the assassination sites. My wife didn't join me for that one, weirdly. I think I'm an ex-goth. You're never really an ex-goth. I was thrown out of the goth community when I was 22 for being slightly too cheerful. But I kind of love that sort of stuff, and I'm really into politics. But also, I genuinely feel when you go somewhere where something kind of momentous has happened, you can almost touch it, and it's kind of weird. I don't know why am I going there, but then why do people go to battlefields? Why do people? I don't know. It just I've been to the JFK place, Dealey Plaza, 4 times now, and it is amazing. It's just,
does it still feel? Does it feel like something? It really does. Has happened there.
It does. Except what's weird is you think about this place, which is where something absolutely massive in America's happened. It was such a big deal in America, the gunning down of their most famous president. You'd imagine it would be a monument, a national monument. It's not. It's just a busy road in the middle of Dallas, except someone, because being America, has drawn a massive white cross on the exact spot on the road where Kennedy's head explodes. So if you want to get a geographically precise selfie, it's good. Also, there's a gift shop, because that's tasteful.
Yeah. Can you buy the kind...
So
go on.
No, that's good, because Bill Hicks used to say, like, isn't it? Do you know about this?
Yeah.
Bill Hicks used to say, when Jesus comes back, do you think he really wants to see a cross? It's like, when people would go to Jackie Kennedy and just a little sniper emblem and go, thinking of Jack. Well, it's like that. You can buy an exact recreation of the car he was shot in.
No
way.
No.
The first reason I went there is I heard, because I quite like weird tours, and there was a tour that a guy did. He'd built himself the exact replica of the car he was in, and the tour starts at Love Field, which is where Kennedy landed that day, and then it takes you on the exact route that the Kennedy thing goes, with the radio from that day playing. And then when you get...
I don't know how I feel about that.
It gets worse. He's got the radio thing, and then when it gets to Dealey Plaza, you hear the shots, and then he speeds up and zooms off, and I thought, I've got to do this tour. And I got there and I found out it had been cancelled because he started drinking quite a lot, and he crashed the car. So that's dark tourism, isn't it?
Yeah. And one last thing, which I didn't know about. I thought I knew a lot about JFK.
Yeah.
Who's this Umbrella Man?
Oh, you don't know about Umbrella Man?
No.
If you look at the footage, all the sort of Super 8 stuff taken on the day.
Zapruder, isn't it?
Well, Zapruder takes the famous one, but there's actually 2 other angles where people were taking stuff. And in the corner, on one of the sides, as someone comes past, someone opens an umbrella. Now, the thought is, because it was really hot that day, that it's to do it. But other people say that Umbrella Man was giving some sort of signal. But it's like, what's the signal? Like, here he comes. It's like, no shit. Like, he's right there. So, I don't know, it's a bit weird. I just went back to JFK again. I wrote a book on conspiracy theories. And QAnon, I don't know if you're familiar with QAnon, but QAnon never quite say what the thing is. It's always like slightly cryptic. And QAnon announced that JFK's son, John Jr., very good-looking guy, if you remember. He married Caroline Bouquet or something. Anyway, and then they sadly died.
Hyacinth Bouquet.
Sister. Mrs. Bouquet. But he died. So John was going to be groomed to be the next president. He died in a plane crash on the way to Nantucket.
That is the trouble with dark tourism. A lot of your anecdotes do end in people dying. So
it gets better. It gets better.
I'm struck because I'm going,
it gets
sorry
better.
To hear that.
Well, there's good news for you, because QAnon announced that he didn't die and that he'd actually just gone in hiding, and he'd been waiting for the right time to come back and take the presidency. And then, of course, they realised that means he'd get rid of Trump. So then they changed it to come back and take the vice presidency, because obviously Trump's the best. So they announced that JFK Jr. was going to return on a specific day at a specific time, midday, on the site where his dad's head was blown up.
Oh, wow.
So I went on that day because I thought, well, it'd be amazing to meet him.
So did it happen?
Well, I don't want to do a spoiler, but 2,000 nutters just stood there, and we all waited to midday, and then nothing. So they had a bit of a chat, and then they thought, oh, maybe they got the wrong time. So we had to wait till 1 o'clock. Still nothing happened. And then someone announced that the Rolling Stones were playing in Dallas that night. So they said that's what it must have been. So we all trooped off to the Rolling Stones, where apparently he was going to announce himself, and they wouldn't let us in.
Oh, God.
No great,
pissed off.
No great endings with Dark Tourist, but there you go.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing about the Umbrella Man was, and it's in your book, which I love, is when you said umbrella, or maybe it's a parasol. And didn't the man go, no man has a parasol around here in Texas?
I literally, that was the worst thing I could have said. If I could have said he was a KGB agent signaling the death of Kennedy, fine. Yeah. But a Texan wearing a parasol, not a chance. Yeah.
Well, listen, we're conspiracy theories. Can you confirm? Because there's that conspiracy theorist about Finland.
Yeah.
Does it exist?
So that was one of my favourite conspiracy theories, that Finland does not exist. I mean, it does. Like, I flew there. It's very clearly there. And the theory is that in 1917, Russia and Japan conspired to invent a country called Finland so they could have all the fish. That's the fishing rights.
Oh, God.
But I'll tell you what's difficult about it is I've been there 3 times. I think we all know Finland exists. Conspiracy theorists will say, I didn't land in Finland. I landed in Sweden because they're in it as well. And the 4 million people that are the Finns are crisis actors, like a big Truman show. I don't know who's paying for this or whatever. But the problem is, clearly bollocks, right? But if you ask me right now, can you confirm Finland exists? I could probably take it to 99.5%. But there's just that 0.5% where they'd say you're a shill, you're being paid by Bill Gates to claim it exists. Yeah. And that is the Petri dish that all conspiracies live in.
Because conspiracy theorists, they love a crisis actor, don't they?
It's always the get-out clause.
Yeah.
Those guys are getting a lot of work.
I know. I think if this drives my podcast, I'm going to be a crisis actor. I'm moving to Finland.
Yeah. When you audition as a crisis actor, you've got the role straight away. And who's paying for these fuckers? 4 million people paid just to pretend to be dull Finns. No offence, but... Are you big in Finland?
Oh, they love me. Hi, Finland. So listen, Trigger Happy TV.
Yeah.
25 years.
I know, Jesus Christ. My daughter was born a month after the first... So the first Trigger Happy... So I always get you were big in the 90s. I was big in the first 2 weeks of 2000. So the first Trigger Happy came out on 14th of January 2000. Victor Lewis Smith wrote the best reviewer ever in the Standard. It said, by far the best comedy of the millennium. So far. It was 2 weeks in. So I always take the so far out and it looks better. But yeah, so my daughter was born a month afterwards. So she's like the living embodiment. She's my Dorian Gray of Trigger Happy, and she's looking fine at the moment. But it does make me feel really old, 25 years. I mean, you weren't even going then.
I know. No, when I got 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
So then comedy changed forever.
Comedy changed, and I was hurled out of comedy. Apparently, we were talking earlier, I was too weird. Like, what?
No, I didn't say weird.
You did? No. He did say weird, didn't he?
No,
what did he say?
Innovative.
Shit was the word used.
No, shut the fuck up. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You were very
No.
Right.
I said I don't think it would be made today.
Okay, that is interesting because a lot of people say, are you saying that I couldn't make it because it wouldn't work, or are you saying that
it's too woke, too bloody woke?
But that is, or are you
woke
saying
woke?
Are you saying telly wouldn't commission it?
No, I think it's too mad. I think people like safer things now, but it was bonkers. But then you said, oh, it wasn't that mad. And then I reminded you about that man being mugged by a load of squirrels.
But that wasn't mad. That's in my head. That Trigger Happy was always...
That's mad. It's mad shit.
Trigger Happy was always in my head, made sense. It was kind of like there was this weird little other dimension that lived just below the surface, and occasionally it popped up. That was my kind of... I mean, I'm rationalising it too much, really. I just want to try and be funny, but that's what the idea of it was. But it's true that with Trigger Happy, I never auditioned for it. We just made a 15-minuter for a comedy lab, and then they just gave us a series. But if I had to pitch Trigger Happy to you then or now,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, imagine I'm married to a Canadian, right? Trigger Happy was never shown in Canada, so on the wave of success of Trigger Happy, I'm quite a big deal. I go and meet my in-laws, and they go, "What is it you do, Dom?" And Stacey just goes, "He shouts into a giant cellular phone and dresses as a squirrel," and you can see him just thinking, "Holy fuck!" It's not great.
And in his part-time, he's a crisis actor.
Yeah, that's right. And he works in Finland, and he's quite interested in North Korean tourism. It's just an absolute win-win.
Because some of the bits, like, you know, you can imagine in the office as you're trying to pitch it, and then like the man's at the traffic lights, zebra crossing, and he's dressed as a snail, and he walks slowly. Do you remember that?
I'll tell you what's good about that. That when people ask me what my favourite bit of Trigger Happy was, it is that, because it epitomises everything about Trigger Happy. It works internationally, that-ish. Because I remember where we were. We were in a pub just around the corner from here, Cock and Bottle, and I was in there with Sam, and we were just, you'd start to get obsessed with, like, you'd see a milkman, you'd think, fuck, milkman, we haven't done anything with that. And I suddenly went, snail. And he went, what? And I went, snail, zebra crossing. And he just got it. And I was in a position where I could just ring someone out. I said, I need a snail costume. 5 days later, it wasn't Abbey Road. We're at Redcliffe Gardens. And I'm just standing by the road. as a snail. Everyone stops because we're in Britain. I get down and I start crawling across really slowly. But because I've been re-looking at it for the new shows, I suddenly realise there's a bit I get in between two cars, and I'm thinking, as the snail, if a motorbike comes down here, I'm fucked. Yeah. So I speed up a little bit and then go on. But I looked at it.
25 years ago, you didn't have Deliveroo or Uber Eats.
You had nothing.
You'd be flat.
You'd be flat.
There'd be curry everywhere.
I have been looking at it, and I thought the only way I'd improve it is I'd have a little bit of snail slime coming out of the back. And also, if I'd have done that in America, 4 rednecks would have hopped out of a pickup truck and smashed me to death because I was a Mexican snail or something. So it could only work in Britain. But I don't think that's weird.
Be a cross.
Yeah, that's right.
Like JFK.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where Dom Joly died.
With a gift shop.
I want to buy a snail
Comedy died here.
So you got five shows: Glasgow, Manchester, Birmingham, London, the Adelphi.
The Adelphi. It's all very grown up. It's
Gorgeous.
good. So the idea was, so Trig Happy, I didn't enjoy it. Well, I did enjoy making it, but it happened so fast, and I didn't know what was going on. It was just like, wow, what was that? That was career. Off you go. You're out. Do something else. And I just thought, 25 years, I really want to look back at Trig Happy, because every day, and it's nice, but just walking here from the thing, just coming down near Lancaster Gate, someone went, hello, I'm at Lancaster Gate, it's shit. And I go, that was 25 years ago. Well. So I thought it does stand out, and we had a retrospective, and someone put on some of the Trig Happies in a cinema, and we all went to watch it together, not just me and my family, like fans. And it was still funny. It was really funny, and it got everyone going, and I thought, okay, there is something there. So we're doing these 25th anniversary shows, and it's like a celebration. It's more for me and Sam. We haven't worked together since, but we're now back together to kind of look at it and think, well, that was really good. But we have an issue with it because obviously all the sketches were with members of the public. So unless I go and try and find those people and drag them on the stage, we've got to have another way of doing it. And I think it's going to be a really weird, interesting show. So there's going to be a lot of surprises on the audience, obviously. Yeah. Main thing is that it won't be funny. That's the big surprise. And I'm quite excited about it. But it is big places for me. I don't do your sort of things. I'm more a small venue man. Yeah. So it is quite exciting.
You also said when you're coming up with ideas for Trig Happy TV, you and Sam, you just didn't work in the office. You would just have road trips, wouldn't you? Just go away. You found travel very creative, didn't you?
That is very true, actually. And I'd always loved my travel anyway. But actually, you must know this. Like, if you're sitting, there's nowhere more uncreative than sitting in an office, looking at a photocopier, just thinking, But it's actually, if you just go with a mate on a road trip, or we went Euro railing. We went interrailing. We were so old for it. So a whole lot of 18-year-olds, just me and Sam, sitting there writing notes. Amusing. And we did come up with lots of ideas. And actually, the best idea we came up with on our interrail around Europe, we never did in the original Trig Happy. So in 2016, I went and did it because I always wanted to do it. And it was the idea that I'm on the famous bridge in Venice, and I'm fishing, and I suddenly pull out a massive plug, and we had a massive plug made, and then I'm like, uh-oh, and run away. Really stupid, but it was really funny. But I loved taking the big plug out. One of the big problems with Trig Happy was getting through customs. So, like, I went to America with the big mobile just after 9/11, and they were like, can you turn it on? I go, no, it doesn't fucking work. I got arrested on the Empire State Building. We were doing the spy sketch, which is probably not the best time to have been doing it, about 2 months after 9/11. And then when I took the big plug on EasyJet to Venice, that was like, what the fuck is this? Don't worry about it. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I think the key to it all is how it's surreal, but it's universal, and I think that's why it works, and I think that's why there's so much affection for it, isn't it?
It is very odd because I never imagined. I honestly had no idea what it was. All of Trig Happy is me trying to make Sam laugh, and Sam's very different from me. He's very organised, quite autistic. Like he's on the spectrum. He's like difficult to read, and so often he's laughing on the inside, which is the worst thing you want. And so really, it's me showing off, desperately trying to make him laugh. And I think that comes across. We really loved making it. Like, we just laughed all the way through making it, so much so that we ruined scenes and stuff. Yeah. And I think maybe that comes across. But I didn't realise it would travel. We sold it to 80 countries. Yeah. And I thought of it as particularly British, but I think a lot of it is visual. So I don't know. I hate analysing comedy. It's like,
where was it where you were abroad and they sold all the DVDs and you did ask if they have a Trigger Happy TV and he asked you to go tell him?
That was in Cambodia. That was in Phnom Penh. And I went into this, it was the last of the sort of, digital, the sort of cowboy DVD shops before those disappeared. And I went in and I was incredibly excited because there was a wall of like the best of Trigger Happy TV DVDs. And then I thought, well, technically, that's not very good financially for me because I'm not seeing any of this. So I thought I should say something. I said, that's me. And he went, oh, yeah, like that. And instead of apologising for just ripping it off, he asked me to sign them all. And I did because I'm such a narcissist.
So. What was your first holiday memory?
My first holiday memory was actually coming to England. And it was, so I grew up in Lebanon in a civil war in an English family, so it's quite complicated. But anyway, I'd never been to England till I was 5. And then I came to England, to Cheltenham, where my granny was having her 90th birthday. And growing up in an English family, all you hear about is England's amazing. And Lebanon's in a war, but it's a beautiful place and it's hot. And I get to Cheltenham, and it's literally God's waiting room. It's like where everyone had come back from the colonies to die. It was pissing with rain. People were just grim. It was like pre-Thatcher. It was like 76 or something. It was just a fucking nightmare. And I remember going to the Queen's Hotel and I was forced to wear a tie, which I hated. And I remember thinking, if I ever lived here, I'd kill myself. Where do I live now? Cheltenham, and I love it. Cheltenham's totally changed now. They've all died off, and it is kind of, it's more hip than hip operation, but it's, I really like Cheltenham. But that was my first holiday, and that's the first one I remember.
That's ridiculous because it says in your book that while you were in Lebanon, Beirut, there was bombs going off.
Yeah.
But that you still preferred that than Cheltenham.
No, well, I did prefer Cheltenham. No, because when the war really got going, they sent me off to school here, boarding school, where I had to go to school with most of the last Tory cabinet, Radiohead, and we all bullied Tim Henman. And now that was quite fun, but I still preferred being in a civil war in Lebanon than to being in a posh boarding school. So yeah. But then my school in Lebanon was even weirder because I went back to a documentary on my school in Lebanon, which was a Quaker high school, and it turns out I thought I was the most famous old boy there, but no, I wasn't, because it turned out I was at school there with Osama bin Laden.
Oh wow,
which was nice.
Oh God,
that was my first Sky travel documentary. And let me tell you, when you come back from your first attempt at a Sky travel documentary, and they go, "How'd it go?" You go, "Not bad. Just found out I went to school with Osama bin Laden." They're like, "Make a series." Yeah. So that was quite good.
Wow.
Yeah. But I wasn't mates. Like, he was 18, I was 6.
All right,
he didn't put his arm around me and go, "Soon, Dom, soon we will do many things."
Oh. What I love on this podcast is hidden gems and stuff. So tell us a little about, because, Lebanon and Beirut.
Yeah.
I'm of that age where your mum would come up to your bedroom and go, "It's like bloody Beirut in here."
Oh God, yeah.
It became a byword. And there was a time when Beirut was the DJ scene, the clubbing scene.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. I mean, just give us, a little hidden gem, or is it a market or a beach or a place?
I literally should be working for the Lebanese tourist board. So I wrote a book called The Downhill Hiking Club, which I first called the Hezbollah Hiking Club, which I thought was brilliant. But unfortunately, it was unable to be sold in anywhere in the Middle East. So I had to change the name, which was just terrible. But I walked, because when I grew up in Lebanon, I loved Lebanon, but just as I got to an age where I could explore it, the war happened. So I was kind of stuck in Lebanon, in our house, while the war raged around. So when I wrote this book, I thought I'm going to sort of really discover it on my own now. And I walked from the Israeli border to the Syrian border. It took 27 days. So firstly, if anyone wants to go to Lebanon, there's this thing called the Lebanon Mountain Trail. You don't have to do all 27 days. You can dip in and out. You stay every night in a village, beautiful houses. People, the only violence you'll find is the food being inflicted on you. Lebanese food is incredible. But there are 3 classic places. Everyone thinks of Beirut. Beirut's a cool city. It's got a good club scene. It's very sophisticated, very westernized. You're not going to be freaked out by it. But it's another Mediterranean city. The place you want to go to up north is a place called Byblos. Byblos is supposedly the oldest inhabited city in the world. There's about 5 places that claim that, but it is, and it's beautiful. It's got an amazing Crusader castle. It's got a beautiful sort of fishing village south of France, harbour, and it's got this place called Pepe Abeds, which is like one of those places that you go to in the Mediterranean where wherever you go, there's a picture of David Niven on the wall, Tony Curtis. They all went there in the 50s and stuff. I managed to get on the wall. I was so excited. But they put me right in the top left, like as out of view as possible. But if you go there, I'm right in the top left. So that's amazing. Then you drive over the Lebanese mountains, which are incredible. You swim in Byblos at the beach. Then you drive over the Lebanese mountains, which are just so beautiful. It's like the south of France meets Hollywood. And you go into the Bekaa Valley and you go to a place called Baalbek. Baalbek is the single biggest Roman temple complex in the world, and you'll have it totally to yourself. It's absolutely amazing. And it also happens to be in Hezbollah's main headquarters. So it's kind of the temple there is called the Temple of Baal, dedicated to Bacchanalia, shagging and drinking. Yet you're in Hezbollah Central. And when you finish there, you go to Chateau Musar, which is one of the greatest wines in the world, which is made there. And you can go into the caves where Romans made wine. They've been making wine in Lebanon for 2,000 years. Lebanon is the greatest holiday secret in the world. It's incredible. Read my book, Downhill Hiking Club. You'll go.
Because isn't that the weirdest thing with you? Because, you know, you lived in Prague and you said when the hen
I was a diplomat.
You were a fucking... No way.
I was a diplomat.
Diplomat?
Yeah. I worked for the EU.
No offence.
No,
diplomat?
no offence. I worked for the EU, and for a year I had no idea what I was doing. People would come to my office, just talk for ages, and I go, I shall refer that back to Brussels. And then I'd just throw everything in a cupboard. And I did nothing for a year. And then I left. I think I'm single-handedly responsible for Brexit.
So, but there is... You say like when you pick a Greek island, if it's got an airport, don't go there. I mean,
that's true.
I know you love going off the beaten track.
I hate anywhere you can get to from Britain, basically. Yeah. Anywhere that flies from here, forget it. I'll tell you my favourite place I liked. I went to Bristol Airport once, just full of the tattooed hordes, you know who you are, on their way to fight on various holidays. And there was just one tiny little queue in the corner, 3 people reading Penguin books and Panama hats. And I thought, I want to go there. They were going to Corsica. Corsica's amazing, full of very angry French and no Brits. It's amazing.
Have you ever gone on a slaggy holiday, had your face tattooed and God. You know?
Well, not on a holiday, but I filmed in Benidorm for 2 weeks. Jesus Christ.
What was that show you did where you went around the world drinking?
Oh, that was my best show
I
ever.
would have fucking killed that gig.
That was called Dom Joly's Happy Hour. That was my greatest moment. So when I came back from finding out I went to school... When I came back from finding out I went to school with Bin Laden...
I don't want to be a crisis actor. I'm sick of it.
I went to Sky and they said, good job with the Bin Laden thing. We'd like you to do a show. And I said, great. And they said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to go to dangerous places and look hard. And they said, no, Ross Kemp already does that. I go, fuck. And then they had a meeting and then one of them said, do you have any interests? And I didn't have any interests. In the end, just as a joke, I said, well, I like a drink. He goes, you like a drink? I go, yeah. And he goes, and your mate, does he like a drink? I go, yeah. And then they had a long meeting and then the best question was ever asked. They go, would there be any way that you'd consider going around the world drinking? And I'm like, fuck, of course I would.
Wow.
But then I got a call from the Sky lawyer who said, you've been telling everyone you're going around the world getting pissed, being paid by Sky. I said, yeah, it's amazing. He goes, is there any way you could not say that? Doesn't sound great. So he asked me that I called it investigating cultural attitudes towards alcohol. So that's what I was doing, yeah.
And where was the best place you got fucked up in?
Well, I got fucked up everywhere, but once you become an alkanaut, which is what I became, when you face the final boss, you've got to go to Russia. There's nowhere else. Beer is legally a soft drink in Russia. And I
No way!
It is. And I ended up drinking this thing called Samagon. Samagon is, it's like homemade vodka, and they make it in sort of Breaking Bad ways. Like flats blow up, they make illegal stills, and it's 96% proof. So anyway, long story short, we had 3 shots of it. 2 shots were okay. 3rd shot, I've never done crystal meth, but if I had, it's like half an hour of total euphoria and then 24-hour blackout, nothing. But the only thing I can remember is when I got back to my hotel, I told them it was traditional to start a fire and reception when you got back. And then I rang my wife, and I can't remember it, but she was so worried. She got the hotel to smash the door down, and I was naked in the bath, just upside down. So that was a good day.
Wow.
But thank God no one filmed it. They didn't, because the crew also drank Samagon and lost all their equipment. It was fucking brilliant.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The most, I think it's moonshine, the most I've had. Yeah. But
did you like that? It's not.
It's not as bad as you think, but it's not it's that kind of face.
I had moonshine because when I thought moonshine, I was thinking Deliverance, right?
Yeah.
But I went to the Appalachians and these rednecks did it for us, and they were all a bit metrosexual. They all turned out as though they'd like been blending their wines. They go, this one's got a hint of peaches, and you just still tastes like raw alcohol, but you don't get a hangover because it's the additives to alcohol that gives you the hangover. So if you're just drinking pure alcohol, sure, you're going to be dead very soon, but no hangover.
That's amazing.
It's a way of thinking, yeah.
So maybe maybe moonshine is the way forward.
I think it's the new gin.
Yeah, please drink responsibly.
Yeah, don't. Just get shit-faced. Honestly, it's all going to end badly anyway.
So, you've been to 108 countries. There must be somewhere you haven't been, is there?
Yeah, there's lots of places I haven't been, but 2 on my list. I'm obsessed with Algeria. They invented the suicide vest there, so that's quite interesting.
Oh, nice.
But also, my favourite war of independence, all that. But the one I really want to go to is Guyana. Now, Guyana, I once did a sketch where I pretended, it was a phone call prank, and I pretended that I was someone in prison who'd just won the lottery. And so when he was coming out of prison, he wanted to visit all these places, but he didn't want to waste his time with the shit countries. So I rang various embassies to get them to basically pitch their country to me. And I rang the embassy of Guyana, and the guy must have just been sitting there for the last 6 months, nothing to do. And so I say, why should I come to your country? He goes, honestly, I would not come to the country. It's just swamps and alligators. I don't know why he was talking in a Dutch accent, but he was. But what I love about Guyana, it's got everything. It's got particularly the reason I became a dark tourist. In 1977 or 79, there was the Jonestown massacre, where that Jim Jones took a cult. He took 800 people out there, and then they were about to be busted, and he made them all drink.
Was it cyanide?
Well, yes, but he called it Kool-Aid. So that's where drink the Kool-Aid comes from, and they all drank.
Should have stuck to moonshine.
Yeah, it should have stuck to moonshine. But what was amazing was that the term dark tourism, I read it in The Guardian, obviously, the Minister of Tourism for Guyana, desperate to get people there, thought, maybe I could turn the Jonestown massacre site into a hotel, and the Guardian were like, this is disgusting. And I remember reading that, thinking, quite fancy that. So that's where I'd like to go.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So say there's people watching and listening to this going, I want to be a dark tourist. They've probably switched off after found out you were a diplomat. Yeah. This is bullshit.
This is lies.
Lies. I'm not listening to this. If say they're watching and listening to go, I want to be a dark tourist.
Yeah.
Where should they go first? Because like you said, you've been to Chernobyl, killing fields. Well, if you want to dip your toe into dark tourism, where would you go?
That's a great question, Alan.
Thank you.
So I would
1 out of 20.
No. I've really enjoyed this. I'll tell you my really good tip. There's an amazing app called Atlas Obscura. Do you know it?
Someone gave me the book. There's a book as well.
It's absolutely fantastic. So even in Cheltenham, if you're in Cheltenham, and I'm sorry about that, poor Cheltenham. No, I love Cheltenham, generally. I'm really big
you
enough
live
Cheltenham.
there. You love Cheltenham.
It's Gloucester I hate. Gloucester, fuck off. And Cheltenham, if you're in Cheltenham and you think, I want to do a bit of dark touristing, but I haven't got the time to go to North Korea or Chernobyl, honestly, open the app, and I've got no financial gain from this, Atlas Obscura. And what it does, wherever you are in the world, it will show you sort of offbeat, not always dark, but offbeat things to see. And it's always amazing. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's the dullest thing in the world, like the world's first cash point. But I was interested in that. I was quite into that.
Also, it's got an app.
Yeah. And
so I got the book. That's going to be amazing.
No, but the app, so literally you go, where am I now? And it shows you where you are. And it will literally just show you all the nearest ones to you. It's amazing. Otherwise, just go to Swindon. I mean, if you're going to start with dark tourism, Swindon, I think.
Swindon.
Because when you said earlier that people said, looks like Beirut, there is a guy, a Lebanese guy, got so angry with that, he tried to sue news organisations saying Beirut's beautiful. So I did start a thing where I wanted it to be looks like Swindon. And then I got banned from Swindon. I'm officially banned from Swindon, which is a shame, isn't it? You're not from Swindon, are you?
No, I'm not. Listen, do I look like I'm from... Don't answer that. Listen, we're about to start our descent, so we've just got time for the quick fire round.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Always ready.
Okay. Mile High or I'm Too Shy? Are you a member of the Mile High Club?
I'm the sort of half-mile high. Does that count? I've second-based. Second-based on
First base is tit.
Well, maybe third-based. I third-based on a trip to Zambia. No, Can I just point out, this was way before I was married. Anal on a trip to Zambia. Well, I'll never forget that. Welcome to Zambia, she said. She, of course. No, that was the best airline I ever flew with, actually. It was amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask any more questions.
No.
Beach or pool?
Oh, pool. I just can't. I just don't get beaches at all.
No.
No, I don't get it. I don't like sand. I like rocks. I like jumping off rocks into water, obviously, not just topping myself. I'm not that dark. But no, definitely pool.
Early riser or dinner appetizer?
Dinner appetizer. I do not get up. The whole reason I'm in television is so I don't have to get up for 12 or wear a tie.
Anchor what or anchor so what?
Well, interesting. Very good. I like what you did there. Anchor.
Do you like culture?
I do like culture, but can we talk Angkor Wat? Because actually Cambodia, absolutely amazing place, but the single least interesting thing to do in Cambodia is they'll make you get up at dawn to see the sunrise over Angkor Wat. 90% of the time it's fucking cloudy anyway, and even if you do, it's shit, so don't bother.
Wow,
but I love
a
culture.
Travel hack here.
Yeah,
the
no,
whole temple is shit.
Well, I mean, it's not shit, but it's not worth getting up at 4 a.m. No, okay. And there are better temples. Much better temple. There's a temple an hour outside Siem Reap, which is where Angkor Wat is, which is entirely built by women. I'm not quite sure why. You'll have to look it up. And it's amazing. And that's also where the Mine Museum is. And you don't want to miss the Landmine Museum.
Yes. And if you mention the code Palonair, you get 25% off the landmine. And then last but not least, tip them or fuck them. Do you tip well or do you think, never see you again?
This is great. I think tipping is about a really tip. When someone's gone out of their way to do something amazing or they've really worked their arse off, 100% tip a lot. But American, I just wrote about this and I got so much shit, but I stand by it. American tip culture has got so insane. So it's like, firstly, pay your fucking staff. I'm not here to pay your staff. I'll pay them more if they've gone above and beyond it. But when they give you that thing now, they give you a choice. Like the minimum choice is 20%. It's 20%, 30%, 40%, or 200%. You go, yes, fine. I'm not fucking 50 cent. So yes, tip them. I love
quite
them.
angry there.
I have no. I really, it makes me angry.
I hate to see you as a diplomat.
That's very weirdly. When I was a diplomat in Czechoslovakia, it split up. I don't think that was when I was there. I don't think it was anything to do with me though.
Well, listen, thank you so much, Dom.
That was one of the best flights I've had in economy.
Wonderful. I'm shame we couldn't do anal, but if you'd like,
there's always time.
Quick, turn the plane around. If you'd like to collect your emotional baggage from the carousel, thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed your flight. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't ever forget, life's a beach.